try it. So today, what are we going to look at today? All kinds of stuff out here. Let's have a look. Get everything ready. It's a little bright. Let's do this. That's not too bad. It's a little bright. That's okay. Boop, boop. Hello, it's RocksAlot, and I'm going to do something a little bit different today. So I'm going to wait for a few people to come in. And if you're in the chat, go ahead, say hi, that'd be great. You don't have to. Let me put all messages. Anyway, yeah, today we're going to do some Larimar and turquoise. We'll see how it goes. Boop, boop, boop. Going to be a mix. Going to do some rough and hello. So we're going to do some look at some rough. Maybe do a little bit of history and maybe do some turquoise as well. So I've got all kinds of stuff to show you. Let's start with Larimar. I was fortunate enough, I guess it's probably 2 or 3 years ago now. No, it's long, maybe 3 years. And I was, hi Opal guy, how you doing today? Going to do a little bit about Larimar today. Not an expert in it, but I was fortunate enough to be invited to an estate sale probably 3 or 4 years ago. It was local, and I didn't know how big it was going to be, but this gentleman was a local jeweler that I knew of. But what I didn't know was he was also an entomologist at the university, and he also was an importer of Larimar back in the 80s and 90s. Thank you. Yeah, we'll see how busy it gets today. The last couple of weeks been pretty busy. So yeah, I happened to get invited to this sale, and there was so much stuff there, and I bought too much and spent too much that I eventually got myself to work 2 weekends of the estate sale to pay off some of this stuff that I bought. And this was the gentleman's name, Dr. Woodruff. He was, I think, local to University of Florida. And so yeah, he was an entomologist, and he would go to the Dominican Republic to get his insects. And while he was there, hi Aman, he got introduced to 2 different minerals. One was Larimar, and the other one was blue amber. And so while working these 2 weekends, I learned quite a bit about Larimar and its grading and how much it was worth. And so I have quite a few pieces. He also was one of the writers in one of the lapidary journals back in the mid-80s. And this was part of his article that he wrote. So he'd been out there in the 70s. I think they started mining back in the 70s again. I think it was Metzer was the person that found it, and then he named it after his daughter. And so these are enhanced pictures that are in this magazine, but there is Larimar that looks like this too. And I was fortunate enough to come across some of the stuff and also purchase it. So I'm going to show a few pieces today. So not only did did I buy some of this stuff, but I also made sure I had a good provenance, which was, I took his plaque. I didn't take it. I paid for his plaque. And this was Eastern Federation of Mineralogical and Lapidary Societies, and this was back in 1989. And that was just for myself to, one, remember where I got the stuff from. This is something else that he used to do. So he was actually an entomologist and did quite a few articles. This is actually on a beetle from Cuba, out of Miami, which is pretty neat. And yeah, we've got some on Larimar grading, and we'll get through some of this. So let's take a peek. Larimar is a pectolite. There are other places that have pectolite, New York being one of them, but Dominican Republic is the only place that they have blue pectolite, and the blue is from copper. So similar to turquoise, it has copper in it, and that's what gives it its blue color. This is just some rough nodules. This is pretty much, I don't even know if you can, hi Ganesh, I don't even know if you can sell the rough in the United States anymore. I've know they've closed the mine a couple of times in the last few years. They're getting deep. I think they're down to like 600 feet or 600 meters down, and it's getting a little dangerous. I'm doing really good. I'm off of work and I'm playing with rocks. And one of the ones I did learn a little bit about is Larimar and pectolite. So I wish I had bought more of the amber back then, but I didn't. And so the thing about pectolite, it's really fibrous, and so it's not that easy to cut and shape. And even when you have something, say, as blue as this, it's very fibrous. It forms in sort of stars, and it does break really easily. A lot of Larimar has this black on it, which is actually it's a carbonization. Some of the carbonization may come from the volcanic activity, but it also may come from, what's it called, Chicxulub. So the Chicxulub asteroid that hit back, what, 66 million years ago in the Gulf, may have carbonized some of these stones. And actually, what some people don't know is there is a lot of, it's actually carbonized petrified palm root. Hey KG. And here you can see the carbonization on the outside, which is pretty brittle and fractures really easily when you cut it. And then the pectolite, which on some of them are pseudomorph. And some argue about the pseudomorph part. A lot of people think it's just veins of pectolite going through the earth. But I think I have a way to show that it is a pseudomorph. So I got some pieces here. Maybe we'll try cutting a couple of them. But let me show you a couple of my finer pieces. So lucky for me, I have a few jewelry friends and I get to keep stuff in their safe. But I did go by and pick this up. I thought I had it with me last week, but not. Hey Husky, how you doing? So this is a piece of palm root. It's petrified palm root. It's been pseudomorphed with Larimar. It's Larimar, rough. And when it's outside of the ground for a while, it tends to sort of, I don't know if it's an oxidization, but it does turn white. And so I have another piece that's very similar. right here, and I took this to the wheels a while back, and this is what turned up. Isn't that gorgeous? So yeah, that's really neat. And you can see how it's formed in that circle, and actually this carbonation has happened on the outside. And like I said, it's probably could either be the asteroid or it could be just from the volcanic heat from around it. But yeah, that's really neat. So there's some of the pieces. Some of the pieces, however, can just chip off. So if you're going to buy rough, you really need to know what you're looking at. There's a lot on the market that is so brittle it'll just chip right out, or it's been sitting in a bucket so long that it's become brittle as well. So, all right, I see. Yeah, I see a lot of good. So here we go on that. And yeah, let's have a look at a few other pieces, and then we might cut a piece. So the reason that I know it is a pseudomorph is this is a special piece that I have here, and it's really big and it's gorgeous. And I'll probably show it again later in the live, but you can see the bark on the outside in this carbonization. I have not polished this, but you can see this tube, and on the other side you can actually see where it's a pseudomorph of a petrified palm root, and that's gorgeous. A special piece. And let me show you a few differences in Larimar. Let's keep that one out. And I've got chunks of this, but as you can see, this one's a little more quartzy, and it makes a lot of noise, so I don't know if we're going to cut too much of it today. Here's a nice looking piece too. So maybe we'll try something with that. So little nodules. But when you tend to cut this carbonized outside tends to crack off. So yeah, let's get into this. I might, maybe we'll try polishing the end of that. Get that out. Boop, boop, boop. Get that out. Let me show some of the super nice pieces I was able to get. So if you can find slices like this, you know what you're getting in the middle. Hi Ganesh. And you know, it looks like the ocean basically. Pretty nice. think we're going to get under the wheel in a minute. Show a couple more little pieces. So this one, you can see the stripes coming out there where it's sort of pierced off the center. It's very fibrous. That's when it tends to crack off a little bit. But it also has a chatoyance to it, which is really neat. And let's have a look at a couple pieces. Let's see. Some crazy lace. And again, like that other block. Really nice colors and some really nice patterns in that. And I'll cut it one of these days. I'll show you some nicer pieces. These ones were already cabbed out. Hi everybody, welcome in. Glad you can make it. You're almost done for the week. If you still got to go tomorrow, I apologize. If you need me to call your boss, let me know. But yeah, some of these are fabulous. And as far as pricing, the best pricing that I found, and I'm going back, 2-3 years. So there's different grades, A grade, double A, triple grade, A, all the way up to the top. And then there's stuff in between. You see a lot of that stuff in between out on the market right now. And it's truly not the best of quality. Here's a cool little piece. So I did not do this, but it's pretty neat. Like I said, it was Dominican Republic. So on one side, it's actually a blue amber. And hi Marlene. It is Larimar. So if you really want to see a decent grade, that's decent grade. Where it looks just like the ocean, but in the Caribbean. And yeah, you go on a cruise ship and they'll sell you what they can, and it's expensive. You're better off to wait until you get on the shore. I did see Larimar, so I noticed that a lot of minerals, they go through. Here's some really neat little cabs. They go through Tucson or Denver or Quartzsite or some of the other gem shows out in Arizona and New Mexico. And by the time they reach us here on the East Coast, the price is doubled or tripled. You see the chatoyance in that little piece? Really nice ringstone. And this seems, I saw some Larimar going, I think it was actually in Arizona. Hi, Charlie. And you don't have to donate. Yeah, it was back in the 70s, so they came out with it in the 70s. So Marlene, you weren't here. I happened to work an estate 3 years after the gentleman had passed away, and his name was Dr. Woodruff, and he used to do entomology, and then he got into both the amber that came out of Dominican Republic and Larimar while he was doing his entomology. And I was just fortunate enough to work his estate. Well, first I bought too much at the estate, and then I worked the estate. This is a fun little piece. Fun little dolphin. Neat little piece. So I would do this. We could try a piece. Larimar is very noisy. And I don't want to really kill everybody's ears. Let's have a look in the Larimar box. Doing more of a show and tell than a cut today. Here's a nice, and you can see this is old stock. You can tell by the sponge. Sponge has been in there for 35 years probably. Look at that one. Hi, Martin. Hey, welcome everybody. I'm glad you could make it in. It is the afternoon, and I hope you had a good day. Let me see if I'm getting to the end of the week. So, let's have a look. Dig, dig, dig. Okay, so I got some of the, this is special Larimar. If you can find this, purchase it. Depending on the price, of course. So, this is highly sought after. It had red inclusions in it. So the blue comes from the copper, and the red comes from basically an iron oxide, I believe. But you get these little red contrasting spots. And the red is different than the carbonization that's on the outside. You don't find this red very often. You get a good piece. It does look like the ocean. Hey, Chuck. They are not for sale right now. Not that they're not going to be for sale. So I'm planning in the not too distant future to set up a drop form and start selling some of my inventory and also selling some of my new lapidary rocks that I do. So I have the email set up. I haven't finished my business name yet, but I need to make it all legit before I start selling stuff, because some of this stuff costs a lot of money. But it won't be retail, but it'll be wholesale mostly. But pieces like this, you're not going to find very, very often. And, lucky for me, I have a jeweler local in town. He's been commissioning some of my work. And so I'm going to start working with him, I think. One, we're going to start working on the museum in one of the local colleges. And we're also going to start a lapidary club. Yeah, this one's gorgeous. You get little spotted kinds. And there are a few people in here that didn't see the big piece, which it's a piece. So not all Larimar is just tubular coming from the bottom of the mine. A lot of it's made volcanic, and then some of it is volcanic and pseudomorph petrified palmwood. And this is one of those pieces of petrified palmwood. This really is just a specimen. Gives you a really good idea of that oxidized black bark on the outside. Actually, it's carbonized. And then you can see the replacement in there. And I got to take this back to the museum. But, yeah, gorgeous. Okay, let's put that away. I could keep going on about it, but I think we're going to try. And where's that piece? Don't know where that piece went. We'll get a piece of rough out. And I'm going to show you how noisy this is. So we're also going to work on some turquoise that I have. I still got some of the big mechs to do, and also have some Nila to work on, and I got some nice pieces of Nila in here that I might work on. And then what else we got? Well, we got leftovers from last week, so I have some of the Variscite, and I went ahead and backed a few pieces, you can see in there, but that's some of the Variscite that I got from Dave. And then this was that special piece last week, which is actually a pseudomorph of a clamshell done in Variscite, which is really neat. That's going to stay a specimen. Alright, so that's good. Let's get this somewhere safe. And then we're going to make some noise. So let's go over. If you get seasick, I'm going to move you for a second, so I'll try and do it slowly. There we go. I'm going to go over to the machine. But now I can't read you guys, so let's go a little bit further. So I've been having problems with my stands. I had 2 break this week, and I have 2 in the mail. Come on. There we go. Come in. So let me show you how noisy this is. I would do this, but it's so noisy. The neighbors are used to it, but you guys might not be. So let's go in here. Boop. A little bit of a squeak. I'm going to go straight onto the metal, and let's do a quick before, and we'll see if we can get any blue out of this. All right, please cover your ears or turn your volume down. Let's see if we can get something out of this. So I work on a Genie, Diamond Pacific, and here we go. Like I said, this is going to be noisy, so I apologize. I don't know which side we should do. So it looks white right now, and that's just because that's sort of oxidized. Let's see. We're going to try and do something on this side. Here we go. Here comes the noise. See how noisy that is? That's noisy. Let me get my mask on. And if it gets too noisy, let me know in the chat, and we can switch up and go over to some turquoise. That's fine. Hi Gregor, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Subscribe and likes, it really helps me, helps my channel. I've been trying to go live once a week, and I do a couple of videos and a short or 2 during the week as well. Try to keep everything lighthearted. Life's too difficult to be worried about everything, what everybody says and everything, you know what I mean. Alright, super love, here we go. I am pressing extremely hard. Starting to get a little bit of a tinge of blue coming out. And I'm just going to turn this into a window that somebody can have in their cabinet. Or if they wanted, they could chop it up too. Okay, so this is not coming out as blue as that other one did. So yeah, this is sort of a warning to people. If you're going to go out and buy Larimar, please know what you're going to buy. You know, this is heavy, and somebody will charge you a lot of money for this. And you never know what's in the middle. So if you can, get them to chop it for you. Let's take a peek. Let's see what's inside, because otherwise you're paying for some pectolite without any blue, and you can get lots of that from New York. Okay. It's not bad, but it's not the best. So you can see the little pools of color in there. So I was going to show you where to get your grading on this too. See how it's chipping out? That's Larimar. So it's not an easy stone to work with. I was hoping for a little better blue than this. It's funny actually, if you look here, it's sort of a clear area. It's almost translucent. Let's keep going down a little bit more and then we'll move on. Very different. So it's almost smooth. Like I said, that's translucent. I'm not sure how that formed. So I'm going to push down a little bit further on here, and then we'll call it a day on this. It's funny how something can be so hard and yet so brittle that it breaks really easily. Alright, we got a little bit more coming through. Hi everybody, welcome in. It's RocksAlot on my live. I do a live once a week. Trying to do the same time. And if you go ahead, subscribe, hit that notification bell, you will be notified of when I go live. And then you also get my videos and a few shorts during the week as well. This week just happens to be some Larimar. Do a lot of turquoise and opal. And then slabs of jasper and all kinds of stuff. Hi Lena, thank you. Yeah, in fact, I think what do I need? I think I need like 40 or 50 subscribers to get to 500. And then I can start doing little polls. And then we can choose during the week what to cut, what to try, what to screw up, you know. You like the sound, yeah? You like the sound of this, or you like the sound of what I was talking about? Because this is pretty loud. I tried to do this earlier in the day so my neighbors don't have to deal with it. I think we got a 3-year-old. Yeah. Oh, and I have visions too, Gregor, but you don't you don't want to know about this. Alright, well, that was a stupid thing to do. But yeah, that was not smart. So it's coming out a little bit. I think this has just been out of the ground so long that the blue is really down in there deep. Okay. So this is not the other side to that piece I showed earlier. Well, that blue's coming out more. And I could cut this at some point, so I could cut it, slice it up, doot, 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 doot. This was more of a teaching piece, so I might leave it. But it was about the carbonization on the outside, and some of it's volcanic, but actually this is petrified palm root. It's a pseudomorph of Larimar, and they believe the black carbonized bark actually came from the asteroid, what, 65 million, 66 million years ago. I think it's the Chicxulub asteroid that hit the Gulf. And so yeah, this is some of that burning, so if it was in the middle of the Gulf, this came from Dominican, so it pretty much fried everything for quite a ways. Hi everybody, welcome in. Hope you had a decent day at work, and if you didn't, it's over, so you're gonna be alright. So let's just polish this up a little. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this as a specimen like that. Just gonna go around, smooth it up a little bit. This Nova wheel's pretty good for keeping that cab or that roundness on the top. Hi Tanya, welcome in. I'm just talking about you today, in a good way. I was talking about you and Kirsten and your sales, and I have a local jewelry store that I'm trying to persuade to go online and sell some of their inventory online. They've been at it for 50 odd years, maybe 60. So yeah, it's just a good specimen. This was one of the other ones. So this was the other one. This one's a little prettier. Hi, Catherine. Yeah, so that's one of the first pieces that I cut, or a specimen is what I windowed, is what I did. Really neat. All right, so I got 2 of those. I'm not going to do any of the Larimar, but let me show it one more time. And let's open this up. I haven't opened this up since I bought it. And I bought this. Hi Tracy, how you doing? I have some cousins up Seattle way. I think they live on some, I don't know, some island off of Seattle, something like that. I forget the name of it. So these are 2 pieces, 2 of my favorite pieces. They have not been out of that bag in 3 years since I got them. And we're just going to take a quick peek. How about that? That's like magazine stuff right there. Isn't that awesome? Really, really neat stuff. And actually, it's a little bit translucent. Let's do this. And let's do one of these. Where is it? There it is. So yeah. Translucent. Oh, sorry. Really neat. There's another piece of that. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, it's such a deep blue that it looks it's just like the ocean, if not nicer. So, some beautiful pieces. Again, got that carbonization on the outside. And actually this is a pseudomorph petrified palmwood, Larimar from Dominican Republic. And you can kind of see the center, that's the center of the pith of the root. Maybe even collapsed a little bit. Really neat stuff. Hi Tracy, Danish. Yeah, it's fantastic. This one's gorgeous. Okay. Back in the bag for those ones. So if you haven't been here before, my channel is RocksAlot. I just started to get my business going, and I do have a business email. I haven't stuck it into YouTube yet, but if you ever want to message me, it is sir.rocksalot, all one word, @outlook.com. So maybe if you see something in here that you like, shoot me a message. I'm really just getting started on where I want to go. Really, I just enjoy cutting. Hey Mash. Hi Mark. Here's a different sort of cut. Almost got this sort of sticks coming out on this one here. Let's give it a little bit of. And in this one you can kind of see the chatoyancy in this. So same thing with turquoise. Blue comes from the copper. And actually, let's turn this off for a second. So the blue comes from copper in both of those. I'm wondering if that was one of the minerals that they used in Victoria stone. And the reason I say it is sort of the circular spray that you get out from the middle in the pectolite. Hey Sukenda. And let's see if we get this. I have a special piece in here. Something I was wondering about. I'm never going to be able to redo what Dr. Mori did with his Victoria stone. Oh, lost one. But in here I have a special piece that I got from Don Dupuy over at I think this is it. I think this is it. Maybe this isn't it. Yeah, I think this is it. So this piece is probably the best piece of Victoria stone that I've seen and definitely handled. Pow! That is not Larimar. It is man-made, but it's man-made out of natural minerals back in the 60s. And some people call it Victoria stone, some people call it Amori stone. And Yeah, I don't know what I can do for you, Sukenda. I get what you're saying, but I'm going to have to put you on a timeout. But appreciate you coming in. Yeah, they can make opals. It's not quite the same. They're getting better at it, but it's costing them more money to make them than it is to. Yeah, it's so. Thank you. So it's costing them more money to make them by lab for the opals than it is to get them out of the ground still. Now, will that change? Probably. Probably. So yeah, I did wonder if one of the minerals is something similar to a pectolite. One, because of the chatoyance, some of the other pieces that I have. And I'm wondering if the color in this also comes from copper, whereas I also have some green amori and also I have some silver amori too, just for collector's pieces. These are all these came from Dave and Don, most of those. And then that was one of the opals I did. Some neat stuff in there too. All right, let's get back to what we were doing. Sorry about that. Just a little sidetrack. Here's some of the blue. So this is blue. This I think is stick tight. And then these are Kingman, some of them, and some of them elsewhere. Hi Ellie. Nice to see you come in. So let's get back to what we were doing. That's sidetracked. But actually there's a lot of sidetracking today. So rather than cutting Larimar, I think we're going to move on to a couple of pieces of... So last look at that for now. Let's have a look at some of the turquoise. I think we can do that. And so during the week, I've actually been working on some commissions for a jewelry store and finished those up. There were some opal inlays that were a pain. So let's try, see what we can get out of that Variscite. That's one piece. And what else are we going to try? Let's try this one as well. So we'll try these two pieces of Variscite. And then we'll move over to some Nila turquoise, I think. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for popping in. I really do appreciate you coming in. If you have a second, please go ahead, hit that thumbs up. It helps me. If you'd like to see more lives, I try to do it in the afternoon when everybody's either out of work, just getting out of work, and they're waiting for their boss to leave. So, yeah, let's do this one. This was a piece from Dave as well. Shouldn't take long. This is not as noisy as the Larimar, and yeah, we should be able to get in pretty close. Let's see what we can do here. Hi Betty, welcome in. Little piece of Variscite. Just gonna go around. If you don't know Betty, head over to her channel. She has some great videos. I'm very jealous of the soil that she has. Maybe one day. And I'm also jealous of where she lives. I believe it's in the northwest. And she has the ability to go rock hounding, whereas where I live, we don't get a lot of rock hounding around here. Get this So yeah, I've been working on some pieces at the jewelry store. Just dropped off the last one today. We are in the southeast, Betty. So one of these days we're going to take a trip. I have family up Washington way, and I mean Washington State, so around Seattle and north of San Francisco. And I do need to go visit. And my wonderful wife one of her missions in this life is to go see the redwoods. And so we need to make that happen one day. Okay, that's looking really nice already. So let's just flatten this back down so it's flat everywhere. This, I believe, was some Snowville. Also had some Candelaria to work on. And this one, as you can see, so I had to back it. It had that natural concave in it, and we filled it up. Actually, this was an experiment. I had to do some opal inlay and some tiny rings this week. And to do that, I had to get some sort of fixture or adhesive that would go into these little pockets to inlay and still make these opal look like black opal, even though they were doublets. If that makes any sense. I guess if you know, you know. So sometimes you can take a clear opal and back it with something black, and it will make those colors shine. So I was practicing with different types of epoxies and dyes. I tried food dye, I tried clothes dye, and what actually ended up working the best was a black, jet black acrylic clothes paint. And I mixed that with some JB Weld. The JB Weld still solidified, but it made it a lot darker than it normally would be. You can kind of see. Right, that's pretty much flat. We're going to just dome off the top here. Welcome everybody. Thanks for popping in. Really appreciate you. I hope you have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, maybe a snack. And we got the radio going at the same time. I would sing, but I gotta save my voice. Well, really, I gotta save other people from my voice. I have a great talking voice, but singing, Alright, still got just a little bit of little bug in the middle. Hi, my Captiva, welcome in. Thank you for coming in. Thanks for popping in the chat. I hope you're having a good week. I think I've seen you. I think I saw you. I don't know if it was Tanya's or Christie's or Kirsten's, or maybe all three. So I just mentioned three. So Ladies Who Loop, Kirsten's Red Sale, and My Jewelry Addiction. Three fantastic channels, all with some superb jewelry. And another one to go look at is Wolf Walker Collectibles. And she has some superb stuff as well. So you have three: New Mexico, Arizona, and California. So that's everybody on the West Coast and in between. And then you have Wendy Wolfwalker, or Wolfwalker Collectibles, that's up in Virginia. But She lived many years in New Mexico and has an amazing inventory of native jewelry. This is gorgeous. So I don't know if anybody else likes it, but I'm very happy with that. I'm going to move over to this one. You're welcome. Tanya, we're still learning how to drop things, drop people's channels. I could mod a few people, and we'll get to that point. But the one thing I don't know how to do is how to put a link in the top, like a jot form link. I am thinking of starting to sell some of my inventory and some of my new stones, so there you go. Really pretty. That's nice. Okay. Let's try this one, and I don't remember what's underneath it. Oh, this is Variscite as well. And it was a piece from last week that I didn't cut, but I cut it on the saw and then I backed it. Hey Josh, how you doing? So I got super people. Ellie, Captiva, Betty, welcome in. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate the thumbs up and the subscriptions. But we're going to try and take this down. So when I cut this, I was torn between. So on the bottom side, it had little lightning strikes of Variscite. And on this side, it's almost all Variscite, and I don't know if I'm going to keep any of the black matrix or not. So I'm hoping. Well, I hope you're out soon, Josh. And I love your cat. He seems quite the character. I love his little spot that he gets up in the tree in the back. Sometimes I wish that's all I had to do. It'd be nice. I don't know if I made the right decision on this one or not, but we're about to find out. I think this was tree frog. So most Variscite is coming out of Utah. And then there is some in Nevada, but not everybody can find this stuff in Nevada. So. My experience has been Snowville, Tree Frog, and Candelaria. Just bringing in all that backing into the edge. Then we're going to take the top. Bit of an odd shape, but okay, so I'm going to continue to bring that in. Not much there. Let's bring that in some. Yeah, we were lucky to go see that. So actually what that was, Captiva, was last weekend there was a neighborhood sale, local. There were like 20 or 30 houses. We got up late, went late, not expecting to find too much. And I bumped into some people who I used to work with probably 25 years ago. When I was still doing hospitality, and that was her dad's house, who was 94, and he had built that in his dining room. So it had like the big boy sign and Dairy Queen, and it was really neat. Anyway, they have that for sale, so if there's any train enthusiasts out there and you've seen that video, I think they were selling the whole thing, I think it was $1,000. And just the train's probably worth that much. So, alright, let's see what we're gonna do. Okay, I think I'm good, and we're just gonna take this off. Let's see what's underneath. So I hope you like some of the information about the Larimar. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I just happened to get into that because of that estate sale, and I'm glad I did. And I still have a lot from that sale that I haven't shown yet. I think on the outside of his house he had probably 100 5-gallon buckets full of thunder eggs and geodes and agates and jaspers. I'm surprised they didn't find stuff in the bottom of his pool, but there was just so much. That sale went on for like a month. Yeah, look at the color starting to come out. And if I can leave some of that matrix in the middle, I'll be happy. But I also got to make sure that I don't go through it. You can kind of see that angle right there. Try to wiggle waggle a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Can anybody see how many subscribers I have at this point? I know I was like 450-ish. I'm trying to get to 500. So I can start putting some polls out, and I can start asking you guys what you'd like to see. And if I don't have it, I will source it out and we'll give it a go. And that way we can kind of learn together. In my history, I've been doing this probably 3.5, 4 years now. When does it, or is it? So it's there a little bit, but it's not the brightest of greens in the world. I do have some green turquoise up here. In fact, what we'll do is, after this piece, we're going to go on to some of the Nila. Alright, let me get this stone. I do. So, what did I do with that piece? Here we go. That's a very good point, and here you go, just to show you. I won't cut this one, to tell you the truth. This was a piece that I just picked up a couple of weeks ago. Also Variscite, Candelaria, and it is actually a clam, or a clam. So that's top to bottom, and so you can see the shape of the clam here and here. And if I was a professional like Kyle at World of Rock Towns, I might try and take some of that matrix off, but I kind of like it the way it is. So thank you, Northwest. Really appreciate that. Hopefully I can live up to expectations. Trying not to give myself expectations, but you know how we are. Thank you all for sticking around. I know it's kids getting home from school, getting out of work. Please don't watch and drive unless you're in an Uber. And actually, if you look at Tree Frog, you'll see this matrix pattern through it as well. Southern California. Well, that's where I have some turquoise from California, which would be, it's just outside of Boston. And then I also have some of the Crayola jasper, I think it's called, or yeah, I think Crayola jasper or crayon jasper. Some of that I got from Big Jim, who is no longer with us, but he taught me a lot from watching him when I first started. And yeah, I would love to just go around. There's a lot of places I'd like to go. California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, the Spencer Opal mines. I'd really like to go around New Mexico and Arizona and Nevada and maybe get into some seam turquoise. Maybe go visit RA Stoneworks out in Nevada. That would be really neat. Yeah, 25 more subscribers to go. So if you're here and you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. Really help me out. And hit that notification, and you'll have my videos, my shorts. Well, you won't have my shorts. Somebody else has my shorts, but you'll be able to see my shorts. And also my lives. I'm trying to do lives once a week. You getting jade down in California or up in Washington? So I'm going to stop with this one. I got 3 more wheels to go on this one. Yes, KG. And I do have my shorts on, so we're good. Alright, so that's 2 good pieces. Let's have a look at, so the reason I mentioned Nevada and Dickens did it go? Oh, it's right next to me. So this is RA Stoneworks. He does have a small channel on YouTube, but he does most of his selling over on Instagram. Him, his wife, and his kids. And he has a small mine next to one of the Kingman mines and the Artisans. And this is some of the material that's coming out of there. So sometimes this is green, sometimes this is blue. So let's pull a piece out of here. Actually, let's do the big piece. Do the big piece. Do one that's more. Let's do this piece. And in this ground, we'll do a few of these. In this ground, it's actually surrounded by like a red quartz as the matrix. So let's see what's underneath here. Welcome everybody. Been here the whole time. Thank you very much appreciated. And yeah, this is stabilized. I'm just going to go around the outside. And it's a really nice greeny blue. More blue. And go around. Hi Mosey. Welcome in. If you're new, go ahead subscribe. Hitting some turquoise. We did a little bit of Larimar earlier. 23 is a prime number, not a bad number. So let's see if we can flatten this down a little. $23 to go. All right. Okay, so now we're going to take, I just flattened it a little bit. No, I didn't. RA Stoneworks is the company's name. They're actually out of California, and they find it in Nevada. And he does sell it from time to time. Usually they find it, it gets stabilized, and then he sells it afterwards. Price has gone up since I first started buying it, but it's gorgeous stuff. So now we're going to take this top off and really see what it has to offer. Just for right now, a cab. So we're going to caboose on it, and then after I know what the stone looks like, then we will... Hi Ray, welcome in. So Ray probably knows a little bit about the Nila, or Nyla. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and take this off. See what we got under there. Can't see that well. Let's go back over here. Sorry, I didn't know I was going off camera. Get that muddy off. So start setting up my girdle. Now, Ray that's in the chat is a true pro, and I don't know how many years he's been... Ray, how long have you been doing your lapidary? I know it's a while. And so, very honored to have you in the chat. And really appreciate everything you do with the team. Now Ray can sit here and probably go through 5 of these in the same time that I can do 1 or 2. Alright, this is coming out pretty neat. You ready for the difference in colors? Look at that. Beautiful different shades coming across. Let's see if we can clean that up a little bit more. I'm going to try and keep some of the matrix in there, but actually with that change in color, I don't need too much matrix in the face. I don't know why, but I'm wearing my mask today, and for some reason it makes me sound English. English with a twang. Wow. So I'm going to end up backing this just to get it flat. Look at the colors in that. That's beautiful. That's really, really good. Thank you, Ray. So yeah, look at the change in color going across there. Keeping a little matrix in there. It's a little wonky on top, but I think once I put some backing on it, it'll come out really nice. So, welcome everybody. Thanks for coming in. Hope you get well. You're gonna make it through the week, so you're almost done. I hope you have some good things planned for the weekend. Just straighten that just a little bit more. And this is stabilized, so one of these days, well, I could almost, even the back's nice. Let's just dome that out. Sorry, I didn't finish my thought. Wow, okay. Move over to the soft wheel. It's a little wonky because it's a seam piece, but We'll have to get that changed once I get it back. Wow, super nice color. A bit of the wiggle waggle. Oh, that's what I was talking about. So yeah, one of these days we'll have, like, smell-o-vision, and you'll be able to smell the epoxy that I can smell. It's not too strong. This isn't too bad. Something in there. Gorgeous piece. I know, isn't it great? I love turquoise too. Most of the phosphates. So phosphate, add a little copper, and you get blue. Phosphate, add a little chromium, get a little bit of green. And that's the same, so they're aluminum phosphate, which is why the ZAM's really good. So the ZAM, aluminum phosphate as well. Alright, let's pick another piece out of here. Let's see if we can get different color. This one's, I don't know. See, that's why I need a pole. What have I got? 20 to go, 25 to go, 25 more subscribers, and I can go, which one do you like, A, B, or C? Which we could put in the chat. Hi, Sarah. Welcome in. I think let's have a little peek at this fish. Yeah, let's have a peek in there. I thought some of this was going to be a little more green, but it's not. That's okay. Alright, let's go around the edge. 21 to go. Alright. Yeah, if you go ahead, sub, you'll be notified of my lives. I try to do a live once a week. And I don't know, try to do different stones each week, although we've been on a bit of a turquoise and Variscite run the last few weeks. I don't know why I'm doing that, but going around the edge. So yeah, turquoise, opal, jaspers, agates. Today we did some of the Larimar. If you missed out on the Larimar, I will show you a couple of pieces. Okay. Similar colors. Should almost cut that off. Let's see if I can do that. Sorry, I went sideways. See if that's enough. Might not be enough. Ah, not enough. Sorry. Do it this way then. I do have a mask on. This isn't the real way to cut stuff, but don't have my trim saw handy. Wow. Ah. Stuff's strong. Come on. Jeez. Stuff's tough. Look, I don't even have that far to go. And it's like, making me look weak. But it's not me, I promise. Come on. 1, 2. There you go. So, we'll save this little piece for a ringstone. And finish this one up. Here we go. Let's bring this in. So yeah, like I was saying, if you'd subscribe, that'd be great. Don't have far to get to 500, which actually has passed my goal for the year. Already passed my goal for the year. But if I get to 500, I can start polling. And I'd really like to get everybody's input on what I should cut or what I should go find so I can cut it. Because I really want to sort of involve everybody that's watching. And I'm glad you are watching, because this is just me having some fun. I would be doing this today anyway, whether I was filming it or not. This is how I get my workload out of my head. And we've been pretty busy lately. Okay, so that's the bottom. Bottom looks fantastic. And so here's the bottom. Ready? Look at that. So these pieces are facing from both sides really well. Poles at 500, that's right. This is a genie. It's a vintage genie. I don't want to insult her while she's here, but still got the Barstow California on the front, like Don Dupuy. It is a quarter HP rather than a third. They put the third HP out now, which gives it a little more oomph. But yeah, I'm on the air pump over here. Air goes up and down and pushes out this tube. When it comes into this tube, it can't go down because of the water, and it spits the water out, and that stops me from dying. So if you're cutting rocks, doing lapidary, doing it on a Dremel, you should wear a mask and try to keep it wet if you can. Even if you're doing a piece of sandpaper, you should be using wet sandpaper, because there is such a thing as silicosis, and it's my understanding it's not very fun. And not something, I don't think it's something that you can reverse either. So just going around, evening out the girdle, get that down, trying to make it about 4 to 5 millimeters right now, all the way around. You can see right here, trying to get this at about probably 5 right now, and then I might round it a little bit. And then you want to have a little bit of an angle. I believe it's around 7 to 11. And what that does is it gives the silversmith something to grab a hold on when they put the bezel on there. That way it stops your rock from falling out. There are other ways. Some people use glue. Some people use glue and a bezel. And some people just wrap it. You know, so wire wrapping's become very popular. And some of the designs that I see out there are absolutely spectacular. And wish I had the patience to do it. Yep, Diamond Pacific. Now, Ray, you've been fortunate enough to, I believe you've been fortunate enough to be in Don's shop, too. I have some special pieces from Don that he was nice enough to, I've got some great fire agate from Don. Some I still haven't cut. I have, what else do I have? I have a dino bone knuckle that's gem grade that you just can't cut it because it's too nice of a specimen fossil. I have quite a bit of the Pasto or Californian turquoise. Okay, I'm gonna not shape it anymore. I'm just gonna take the top down and see what we got. Let me take it a little bit more. I'm not gonna make it a perfect oval, but some sort of oval. Okay, so we're still a little rough on the top. Really? Well, between the two of you, I'd have to go stay in between so I could go from side to side. I mean, I'd love to go to the yard, the rock yard. Is it, Tanya? You should go visit. He'd love you. He might keep you, but he'd love you. No, he's got his wife, Vicky. But yeah, Don Dupuy from... So Diamond Pacific is only about 2 hours from you, Tanya. And there is a rock yard that they have that you can go pick. Let me see if I can... Let me find something out for you, Tanya, and I'll let you know. One of the nicest gentlemen ever. Very, very giving. His family are fantastic. Alright, we're going to take some of this top down. See if we can leave some... I kind of like the grungy in the middle. But we're going to take it down a little bit. Alright. See if I can get the wiggle waggle going. And it would be quicker if I... So they have a little rest as well, Diamond Pacific, that you can rest your cab on, and it just helps you go evenly around and helps you with your girdle. I might leave some of this in the middle. Let's see. Welcome everybody. Hope you just got home or you've been home. And you've got that drink in your hand, whatever it happens to be when you get home. Doesn't have to be alcoholic. Whatever relaxes you. Maybe some tea. Ooh. I really like the middle of this for some reason. I'm going to leave some of it. But if I leave the middle grungy, I'm going to have to not use the ZAM. So, because even with the ZAM, you're going to get that, the wax going to end up getting caught in there. Right. Talking too much. Let me get this done. Let me do this here. Yeah, all the lights really help. They keep pushing it. They push it out. So some of the people that I got in right now are over in Europe, and welcome to all of you. Now you're a little bit further along in time, so you're probably going on, 10, 11 o'clock at night. So I really appreciate you being in as well. I would ask you all where you're from, but that's another day. I'd love to see how much international reach we get. Not going where I want it to go. Come on. I'm going to move over to the heavy wheel one more time. Taking too long on that one. Sorry you can't see this. So I went back to the 80 grit. Just makes it a little quicker. And you'll see why in a second. rolling it. Oh yeah, sorry to do that off like that. It's a funky shape. Funky shape. And your second and third were done as well, Tanya? I think we got a few dons in here today. I know we got Ray. Yeah, you got a don above you there. But Tanya, if you don't know, I think you know the opal guy. That opal guy. He does some fantastic photography. Does some opals, and some of the photography that he gets are just absolutely fabulous. And some of the pictures of his stones are fabulous too. So, any of you watching right there after the show here, if you want to go over and subscribe to that opal guy. He also helps everybody in the community get their names out there, which is very nice of him. Doesn't have to do that. Okay. Still a little funky. Alright. I think that's that. Back looks good. I gotta take this out. I do have a mask on if anybody's asking why my shape is wrong. Don't like my shape. You're welcome. But you do. You put a lot of stuff out there, and it's, you know, other people that are in this chat right now, that it's hard work to keep a channel going and put up videos and do shorts, and you know, just sometimes when you just want to do some work, you take more time to put up the camera and make sure your microphone's working, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they do. And sometimes I wonder how much they get pushed out, you know. You see your analytics and I see mine, and I've been enjoying doing the lives. I think I like the lives because you get almost an immediate interaction. And I know there's a lot out there that are just watching, which is fantastic. Thank you and welcome. So now my shape's getting a little bit better. Still got a little bit of the top to go, but it's looking good. Let's move over here. So I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm expecting winter to be around the corner. I don't think they're listening to me, but be nice. It's been hot. Oh, see. $21 more to go. We'll get there. Well, it's not Jerry the Mouse. I don't know where Tom is. We do have a Josh. Tomcat Josh. But welcome. I'm on the soft wheel. And you know, it's a little spongy, so I can push a little bit, not too hard. Don't push too hard, it just takes the grit off the wheel. But it does help with rounding. Yes, I did. Not a full silica mask where that would be better. I do have a 95 on. And I do have glasses on. I don't have anything plugged in my ears. Maybe I should. If I could find a brush to clean this out real quick. So I've got 3 wheels to go over that way, which we're not going to do today. Let me see if we can clean this. That brush might work. Let's see. So some really nice colors, blending colors, greens and blues. And really just a true turquoise color. Very nice. So still got that little bug right there, and I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it or not, but very happy with that for right now. Let's see what's next. We'll do one more. Maybe we should do, let's have a look. Maybe one of these two. I cut it for some reason. Let's see, this is some of the big necks that I think came from, I'm not sure if it was from Tim or from Sam, but I think it's from Sam. Thank you, Betty. So, another piece of seam. This is not Nila turquoise. And I think we're going to do the small one, and then we'll call it quits. We're going to do the small one because that way I know what the big one's sort of going to be looking like as far as color-wise. Okay. Hey, Steven. Welcome in. Your resin pieces are coming along really good. I did find that opal stuff I was talking about today. So I should have brought it out here to show you. I'll show it next week. I think Steven remembers, but I was talking about it last week. I have also came from the Larimar estate, but I have a whole bag of sort of chips and inlay that he was doing with black opal. So they're sort of semi-prepped. And I think I'm gonna make a frog. That's my plan, and a decent sized frog. I'm gonna make a frog like this big out of the inlay, and see how that comes out. But I might have to resin it. I don't know if I'm gonna resin it. I think I'm gonna have to inlay it and then resin it. So that'll be something new for me. Here we are. Personally, I'd rather be hot than cold. Not everybody's like that. Okay, this color. This is not the same material. Let's just do that so you don't have to miss out completely. This is not the same material. This, I believe, came from Sam. And Sam is Specialty Cabs and Blocks over on Etsy. Okay, what are we going to do here? So, decision time. I have to either flatten that end out and come down from here. Wow. I almost want to Dremel this. See how it's got that little nugget up the top here? I don't know if you can see. I'd really like to keep that, but I'm not planning on thinking on this last piece. I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna keep this as the back, and yeah. So later time I'm gonna Dremel this out. That's gonna be the back, keeping it kind of rough and leaving that rough on there. And this is the side I'm gonna polish out. So we're gonna try and take all this out, cab it up the top and dome it, and then this side I'm gonna leave. Gonna come in with the Dremel, maybe leave it kind of. Hi Christy, congratulations on your subscribers, that's fantastic. One day I'll get there. Trying to get to 500 right now, and once I get to 500, be polling out, and yeah. I'm actually doing better than I thought I was going to do this time of year. Okay, so we're keeping that. Okay, so it's getting dusty. Not good. Yeah, Christy, so Ladies Who Loop just hit 3,000 this week, which is absolutely fabulous. And if you don't know her channel, go over to her channel. She does a lot of jewelry. Native stuff. I know everybody's been doing the Rosemary G lately. Okay, I'm gonna take that off. Now I'm gonna leave that. Sorry, so it's tricking me because I want to leave the back, but the back is not even, so just feeling wise it doesn't feel quite right, but it is right. So sort of an optical illusion for me. I'm trying to dome something that is uneven on the back, which isn't too easy. Really? Wow. That's fantastic. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, everybody who's here. So I'll let you know my goal. So my goal at the beginning of this year was I had 87 subscribers on January 1st. And so my goal for the year was to get 3 times that, which is what? 256. If I had got to 256, I would have met my goal. I have surpassed my goal thanks to all of you, so I really appreciate it. You know, just taking the time out of your day to be here is superb, and I really do appreciate you. And hopefully it just gets onto something bigger. Eventually I will be selling some of my stones. I will be silversmithing some of my stones and selling them. I like to give them away as well. Not that I've done any giveaways on YouTube yet. Okay, so this is looking really pretty. Look at the blue in that. Yeah, between the jewelry community, Betty, and the community, I was trying to explain it to my jeweler today, and he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Yeah, you could probably just call them and they'd help you out." He's like, they'd help us out. I was like, "Yeah." Everybody's fantastic and super, super nice. So, and everybody just pushes everybody. It's fantastic. It's just not something you experience everywhere. Like, if you haven't, to get an understanding of sort of the rock community, go over to AZ Rock Hounding, or even Betty's channel. Go over to Kyle's channel over at World of Rock Hounds, and look up their Spencer Opal trip that they did. It's only about a month ago now. And JV Rock Hounding, Theo, Callison, they all went and met up in, I think it's Idaho. Went to the mine together, met everybody, stayed a few days, did some mining by themselves, did some mining together. Just absolutely superb. And I think my comment, I don't know whose video it was, but my comment was like, I feel like I went to the beach, so I wanted to go to the beach when I should have gone to Thanksgiving up in the Spencer Opal mine. But yeah, fantastic family. So, 3 more to go. Did I get it? All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. 501. Will you take a screenshot? Because by tomorrow somebody will drop. But thank you all so much. That's fantastic. So now we get to do some polls. And it will be rock related. So that's super. All right. I get to eat tonight. And honey, thank you for your help too. Yeah. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Gregor. Mr. Pollock, if you're in here still, thank you. That's fantastic. All right. Good day. Here we go. I'm going to leave it just like that. Going to go over to the soft wheel real quick. Looking really nice. Hi, Enjoy. Welcome. Thank you, Ellie. Yeah, it's all of you guys, all of you. Thank you so much. This is looking pretty nice too. Still got, what I'm gonna try and do is bezel around there and somehow keep this rough side of the seam, because I really like the little nodule that's up there. I don't know if it's possible, but we'll give it a try. So this week I'm going to probably be putting up pretty cool. Thank you, Raven. For Doug, I should say thank you. Welcome. Oh, so Tanya, there. So the name still begins with a D, right? And one of these days, so when I first came here, my goal, and I still haven't done it, and it's many, 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 many years ago, I was meant to meet a friend, and we were meant to go from Dallas, Texas to the West Coast, so San Diego, and then drive all the way up to British Columbia. Unfortunately, my friend couldn't make it, and so that didn't happen. But now, some of you I now know in Southern California and would love to go visit. And then I would love to go up the coast. And I have friends and family now. I have cousins and aunts and uncles in the northwest of the United States. And I need to go visit them. I haven't seen them since I was, 15, 16 maybe. And yeah, see the redwoods, do some proper rock hounding, see some real sunsets instead of just watching it from over here. Okay, this is turning out really nice. Look at that. Pretty nice cap. And if I get it right, it'll be a really neat looking back. Okay, so let's go over here real quick. Well, I'll show it over here. I don't need to move. So this is the Variscite. Pretty nice. Let's turn that off. Piece of the Nila. Another piece of Nila. This is, I believe, a Snowville that came from Dave. And then this is Big Mix that came from Sam. And some pretty neat pieces. If you weren't here earlier, what we started off with was did this piece of Larimar, which is still pretty white on the inside. Maybe if I came down a little bit more, get more blue. But piece of its sister. This is one I did a while back. It's just gorgeous. So yes, from humble beginnings, you're absolutely right. And so this is Pectolite or blue Larimar. It's Larimar. This is one of the pseudomorphs, which is a petrified palmwood, and the outside is black. Some people question whether it's a pseudomorph, and I just happen to have a piece which has to go back to the museum, but this is how you know it's a pseudomorph. So this is all carbonized bark. It could have happened volcanically, but more than lately it happened 60 million years ago with the Chicxulub asteroid, and this is how you know it's a pseudomorph. So, oh, I guess I kicked out for a second, so it looks like it's time to get out. But thank you all for watching. Thank you all for subbing. I'll be putting out some lives I won't be back until I go live next week, but I will be putting out a couple of videos and some shorts. And these are some of the caps we showed here. Some of the little caps, but look at the blue on those. And actually, so this one is one of the ones that has some red and black in it, which is actually an iron oxide, which people look for. So neat stuff. Anyway, thank you all for coming in. Thank you all for subscribing and liking. Love you all. I've now reached a goal that I didn't think I was going to reach. Now I have to set a new one. And I hope you can help me get there. I will be in all your lives and chats as much as I can, helping to push you guys forward too. So thank you all so much. We will see you next time. And in the meantime, take care of each other. Most of all, take care of yourselves. Cheers now. Love you.